This is Audra Hicks, your Tennessee realtor. I wanted to talk to y'all today and give you kind of an insight of a day in the life of a real estate professional. So please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned because I do put the real in real estate. Hey y'all. I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of an insight on a day in the life of a real estate agent on HGTV and all over the news and how people portray our industry. It's like, oh, y'all get paid way too much and all you do is open doors for people. Well, I mean, first off, sometimes the doors don't like to open, but you know. Some of the boxes that agents do use, we get disgusted over once we arrive at a door because that box will not open, or we break our nails off because we're trying to get in the box. But no, that is not what we do, is just open doors. Some of the things that I say is I'm not a tour guide. Nope, I'm not a tour guide, so I don't have my clients sign touring agreements. That's just absurd to me. I just don't do that. But people may want to do that, do a touring agreement. I'm a professional. I am a full-time real estate agent that works full-time, not part-time. So every day I am working 7 days a week. My hubby says 8 days a week. My son too. Yes, that happens. I cannot have a vacation, which we haven't had in a while. We need to have one. A dinner or a movie night or TV night or out with my family at dinner without working. That's what I do. That's why I set myself apart, because I like to be there for my clients. Some people shut down at 5. You can't get them on the phone until the next day or one certain day during the week or whatever it may be. But everybody runs their business the way that they want to run it. I like to be there for my clients. Yes, there may be times where I can't answer the phone and I have to call them right back or whatever it may be. But like I say, I'm a concierge to my clients. They know they can call me at any time. If I'm available to answer, I always answer my phone or text them and say, hey, I'll call you right back. I'm on the other line, whatever it may be. Might be in the bathroom. I mean, we do go to the bathroom, but, that's part of it. I'm very into communication. Love communication. So I'll text my client sometimes if there's nothing to really report to a client, especially in this market where things do set longer. Sometimes you don't really have anything to report. I try to check in on them, let them know, hey, there's nothing to tell you, or we have to discuss different things that we need to do to the home or price or whatever it may be. So a day in the life of a real estate professional can be answering phone calls, texting, emailing, looking up properties, researching properties, finding out everything about the property, whether it has a septic or a sewer, finding the septic records, seeing if it has a survey, depending on what you're needing that for. You need to keep up to date with technology, looking at different things, setting up properties to go view. And sometimes that can be a rat race. You may have 10 properties or 5 properties, however many you want to show in that day to your client, or how many your client wants to see in a day. So you may have to set those up, but align them to where you're not a rat race trying to go here, there, and everywhere. So as we're trying to do that, we're trying to ask the other agent or the listing agent at that time. I'm putting my buyer's agent hat on right now because I am a listing agent as well. But on the buy side, I have to set up appointments to where either we're going to meet at the first house, get it underway, have it set up and know what time we're going to start. So then we set up the itinerary to either go around in the same vicinity all the way around or backtrack, So you have to try to set them up. Sometimes it's hard to get agents to answer you, so that hey, this is number 2. I'm waiting on number 2 to know when I need to set up number 3. Same as 4 and 5 and on down the line. So that's what we have to do there. Another thing is, communication is key. So if I'm trying to get a hold of an agent, I don't know always if I can get that agent on the phone. Sometimes they may be busy. Sometimes they only like you to text them. So, we have to play that rat race too. So if you are an agent, please answer your phone or text back. Some communication be great, but sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's just wonderful. You get them, they answer, or you put in a showing request and they'll get to it pretty fast and say, yes, you can show it, or no, you can't show it, or whatever it may be. Then, you do that. On the listing side of things, I am, having to negotiate things for my seller. On the buy side, I have to negotiate things for my buyer. So you have to be a good negotiator. You need to do that. If you cannot negotiate your own fees and what you're going to make and what you feel that you are worth with your buyer or your seller, either one, then you really need to think about the line of work you're in. Because if you can't negotiate for yourself, what makes it possible for you to negotiate for your client? So I've ran into that a lot lately. Or, with all of the changes from NAR, which we've endured this year as a listing agent, now we get more texts than we ever did and phone calls than we ever did. So that takes up even more time out of the 24 hours you might work in a day to respond back. All that agent really is wanting now is to know what your seller might be wanting to offer them. Yeah, write it in the offer now. You got to write it in the offer. Whatever your buyer might need, as far as concessions, maybe paying your, on the buy side, your fees for your real estate fees, things like that, you'll want to negotiate that in the contract. Used to, we couldn't put anything to do with commissions or fees or anything in our contracts. Now that's part of it. So on the listing side, we're usually negotiating with our listing, how much we feel we're worth to negotiate, letting them know that now it will more than likely come in the offer for the buyer side. So you got to have conversations with your listings. You've got to have, with your sellers, you need to have conversations with your buyers. I have always ran my real estate business as a business. Coming out of our 24 years, before over 8 years ago, we going into full-time real estate. So almost 33 years in business, I knew how to negotiate. I knew how to go in homes, get them prepared to sell, things like that. We had a high-end floor care business, so we dealt with very high-end clientele. We knew how to have conversations, talk to them, get their homes prepared to sell, get it on the market, deal with real estate agents. I love, my colleagues in the business, and you need to learn how to get along with each other. You need to do that. So in this field, you wear a lot of hats. So, you might change it for your listing side, your hat's over here and your hat's over here for your buy side. So, and sometimes you have both. You're dealing with your listing and they go buy a home. So, you're out searching for homes for them. There's a lot that goes into it. Like, some of our listings, we have to look at things in the beginning that we think need to be repaired or maintained. Since it hasn't been maintained, they need to be fixed or replaced. Any of that up front before we list. Because if you don't, your home may sit on the market a lot longer. I may end up having to get photography done twice, especially if you don't paint ahead of time, and then we have to get it painted during the process. Then we need to get a whole line of pictures done again. So that's an expense I endure as well. So there's a lot of expenses in real estate on top of the real estate expenses that we already pay to our dues and insurance and all kinds of things. That's another topic I could probably get on here and talk about. But like some of my listings, I have to get photography, drone footage. You might have to stage it a little bit. You might have to do different things. I have to line up all of that. Plus, if we have to get it painted, find a great painter, probably meet them, coordinate how they're getting paid and get the check over to them from my clients, depending on if they've moved out of state or if they're here or whatever. We have a vendor list as a real estate agent where we know that this vendor has done great work and, they're trustable to do it, things like that. So, I have to get landscapers out there, keep the home. Like, say you have moved out and it's empty, then I'm babysitting the home. Usually I'm having to go there sometimes at night with my family, see things that need to be done. Lights maybe need to be turned off because they are shining in the neighbor's house, and I don't understand why people go in a home and leave all the lights on when they leave, or open every blind up that there is. If it's an empty home, we don't want all the blinds open already. I'm saying from experience, so we don't want all the blinds open already so everybody can see in and know that it's empty either. So we try to keep everything secure and buttoned up. There's sometimes blinds may get tugged on by everybody and then they come flying off and probably hit agents or things, so then that puts me and my hubby and son going by and putting them back up, because it's empty and the client is not home anymore. So, there's things that we have to do, especially with estate sales. If we have had to be there, let people in, give them their proper code to get in, meet them over there, depending on what they're doing. One of mine had an estate sale, and then they left everything that they didn't sell in the home, all the trash, everything to do with it, left in a home. So then we have to get a junk removal in there to get all of that out so that it's not in the home and left for, that we have to get rid of later. There are things that we have to do, and especially if it's empty and they're not in state anymore, go by there and make sure that everything's good. Make sure nobody's played with stuff. No one has changed the heat to air or the air to heat, and we have to change that depending on the seasons too. We have to set up when the utilities are needing to be turned off, coordinate with other agents. There's a laundry list of stuff we have to do, and sometimes it may be phone calls for a few hours per phone call a day. You have to teach people how to sign contracts over the phone, especially when they're older and they are not used to technology, but it all works out. You have to love what you do. You have to love this business, and you have to put your heart and your soul into your business, or, people will see that. They will see that. They'll know that you're not in it, for them. And for us, I got into the business. We retired from our 24-year floor care business after, I think that was in 2016. Went into real estate full time, and did that because of how we were done when we bought our home after our house fire. We had lost everything we owned. We weren't treated properly in the purchase of our own home and taken advantage of by a lot of people. So I vowed then I was getting into real estate that I would make sure that all of my clients are taken care of one at a time. They don't get taken advantage of, and if I can help one family, one client at a time with the largest purchase that they'll make, usually, I mean, cars are getting up there too, but I mean, houses are usually your largest purchase you're going to make, and walk them through it, especially if they are, they're going through a lot where they might not be in the right frame of mind. I want to make sure that I protect them. I do that with everybody, not just, people going through things. Going through purchasing or buying or selling, whatever you may be doing, is going through something. That is very stressful, and I just try to alleviate the stress. I take on a lot of stress. It's a very stressful business. It is. So I say that I am the only realtor on earth that does not drink alcohol, but I understand why we do. I mean, I'm just being real. But like I said, you have to love what you do. In this business, you've got to get along with others. You've got to know how to negotiate, especially how all of the market has changed and how everything's done with contracts and commissions and all of that these days. You need to have those conversations, and you got to believe in yourself, or your client's going to see right through you. In our previous business, we were before we retired in that business, the highest priced cleaner there was in the area and probably United States. But we were well known in that industry. We were highly trained masters in that industry. We kept up with, everything to do with it. Our certifications there, which I do certifications and designations in real estate as well. I'm always learning. You can never stop learning. Or what good are you? Like, if you think you're a know-it-all, people see that too. So we want to always be learning, so we can, be the best we can for our clients. So today I just thought, well, I think I will enlighten some people who think that we are just a tour guide, or, a philanthropist. We need to be a philanthropist and do things for free. People in this world have to make a living. You can't expect somebody to work for free. Although, if you add up the hours on a lot of our transactions, if you are a full-time agent and you're there for your clients and you go above and beyond and go the extra mile, look at the hourly. There's a lot of, like I said, phone calls, texts, emails, paperwork. Did I say paperwork? Yeah, a lot of that. Miles on your vehicle. You're away from your family, or you're with your family and you're always working or being texted, or phone calls that you have to make, things like that. Check on how the status of things are. See if the lender has gotten everything from your buyer. There's many things that we have to do, whether it's a listing transaction or it is a buying transaction with our clients. The many things that we have to do. So, if you look at the hourly, we probably do not make much per hour. One of my listings I've been to at least 60 times already, from, needing to go by and check on things, especially if they're not there anymore, and all the things that I've had to do. I was adding up how many trips over there I've made, or me and my family have made at night while we're out, and go ahead and, check on things and do things. And it's about 60, maybe more. Like, I quit counting. But then you have some things that you do that you never get paid for. Say you have a listing and that we need a foreclosure, and they didn't tell you that it was going to be auctioned the next day. So, you have some that you lose on as well, but it's sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So um, there's things that happen in real estate, and you got to take the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly. So hopefully this has been helpful to you today. And if it has, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.